Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahusha, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahusha, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled, How to Handle Esau's Persecution, 101. John 13:21. When Yahushua had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you that one of you shall betray me. Then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake. Now there was leaning on Yahushua's bosom one of his disciples, whom Yahushua loved. And this is referring to John the Revelator. Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake. He then lying on Yahushua's breast saith unto him, Lord, who is it? Yahushua answered, He it is to whom I shall give a sop when I have dipped it. And when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. And after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Yahushua unto him, That thou doest, do it quickly. Salakia, that thou doest, do quickly. Verse 28. Now no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him. For some of them thought, because Judas had the bag, that Yahushua had said unto him, Buy those things that we have need of against the feast, or that he should give something to the poor. Verse 30, he then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night. Yahushua is the finisher of our faith, but actually the author and finisher of our faith. When we go into that term finisher in the Greek, it means highest example of our faith. At this time frame, Yahushua knew Judas Iscariot was about to betray him. However, he remained cool, calm, and collective in the spirit. He reacted in such a composed manner that the disciples did not have any discretion of what was going on. This is how we supposed to react during the persecution times, okay? Remaining cool, calm, and collective, because when you do so, you remain single-eyed. You remain focused on the mission. Don't let anger and wrath overtake you, because when you do that, you start making mistakes. You start sounding ignorant, okay? So, like I said, use Yahushua as the example on how to conduct yourself within persecution. John 18:1. When Yahushua had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples over the brook Cedron, where was a garden, into the which he entered, and his disciples. And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for Yahushua oftentimes resorted thither with his disciples. Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons. Yahushua therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Whom seek ye? They answered him, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua said unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. As soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground. All right, so Yahushua at this moment is exercising spiritual power, okay, in the manifestation of a force field. That is the reason why they went backward and fell to the ground. Verse 7, then asked he them again, Whom seek ye? And they said, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way. Verse 9, that the saying might be fulfilled which he spake of them which thou gavest me, have I lost none. Verse 10, then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and smote the highest priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Then said Yahushua unto Peter, put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? So Yahushua knew that this was the entry level for him to endure the cross. Verse 12, then the band and the captain and officers of the Jews took Yahushua and bound him and led him away to Ananias first, for he was father-in-law to Caiaphas, which was the high priest that same year. Now Caiaphas was he which gave counsel to the Jews that it was expedient that one man should die for the people. Goes to show you that these hypocrites knew the scriptures. They understood prophecy. Verse 15, and Simon Peter followed Yahushua, and so did another disciple. That disciple was known unto the high priest, and went in with Yahushua into the palace of the high priest. But Peter stood at the door. Let me see. I'm going to jump down. Let me jump down to verse 19. The high priest then asked Yahushua, verse 19. The high priest then answered Yahushua of his disciples and of his doctrine. Verse 20, Yahushua answered him, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whether the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing. Okay, so you can see Yahushua's approach. Okay, it was direct and precise, to the point. He wasn't rambling. Okay, verse 21, why askest thou me? Ask them which heard me what I have said unto them. Behold, they know what I said. So everything is calculated by Yahushua, and he is in a composed spirit. Verse 22, and when he had thus spoken, one of the officers which stood by struck Yahushua with the palm of his hand, saying, answerest thou the high priest so? Verse 23, Yahushua answered him, if I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil, but if well, why smitest thou me? So in a nutshell, Yahushua is saying, look, I'm telling him the truth. And at the same time frame, why are you hitting me? Okay? He did not try to fight, okay, the person that struck him. When the officer struck Yahushua, Yahushua was still composed. You know, he was cool, calm, and collected. He stated, if I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil, but if well, why smitest thou me? He didn't get up and call them motherfuckers and snakes and, foxes and things of that nature. No, he was still composed. And this is how we supposed to react as well, man. We have the blueprint. We have the protocol on how to conduct ourselves during the times of persecution. Okay, so if Yahushua acted in a way such as this, then we must act in a similar fashion to the best of our ability. Okay, verse 24. Now Ananias has sent him bound unto Caiaphas the high priest, and Simon Peter stood and warmed himself. All right, I'm going to jump down. Verse 28, then led they Yahushua from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early, and they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Passover. Pilate then went out unto them and said, what accusation bring ye against this man? They answered and said unto him, if he were not a malefactor, meaning criminal, we would not have delivered him up unto thee. Then said Pilate unto them, Take ye him and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death. Then Slakia that the saying of Yahushua might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Yahushua and said unto him, Art thou the king of the Jews? Yahushua answered him, Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me? So do you believe this, or are you going by what, these other cats are saying? Okay. Which is referring to the wicked Jews. Verse 35, Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? Yahushua answered, My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from here. So basically, Yahushua is telling him, hey, this is not my kingdom. If it was my kingdom, then I and my servants would fight, and I wouldn't be standing right here. But this is not my kingdom. Okay? So right here he's telling Pilate, look, I'm not showing any aggression, or any rebellion that justifies me being here. Okay? Verse 37, Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Yahushua answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world. Meaning this is prophecy why I am here. I was born for this purpose. Okay? That I should bear witness unto the truth, which he did. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice, meaning the elect. Verse 38, Pilate said unto him, What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews and said unto them, I find in him no fault at all. So Yahushua kept it spiritual. He was composed. He was direct and precise with his answers. Verse 39, But ye have a custom that I should release unto you one at the Passover. Will ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews? Verse 40, Then cried they all again, saying, Not this man, but Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber, and that's how wicked our people are. Okay? John 19:1, Then Pilate therefore took Yahushua and scourged him, and the soldiers platted a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put on him a purple robe. So they're mocking our king and said, Hail, King of the Jews. And they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again and said unto him, Behold, I bring him forward to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him. Verse 5, Then came Yahushua forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe, and Pilate said unto them, Behold the man. And Pilate was such a devil, because at the end of the day, he could have, he could have overrode or overwritten, if that's a word, if that's a correct term. Basically, he could have stopped this, because he was over these wicked Jews. Okay? But he chose not to, all right, because this was the will of the Most High, all right? And regarding the Most High's will, he rules within the kingdom of men. Verse 5, Then came Yahushua forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe, and Pilate said unto them, Behold the man. When the chief priests, therefore, and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. Pilate said unto them, Take ye him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. The Jews answered him, We have a law, and by our law he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of the Most High. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was the more afraid, and went again into the judgment hall, and said unto Yahushua, Whence art thou? But Yahushua gave him no answer. Here you have it, an Edomite that had a more so-called spiritual trait than these wicked Jews. At least Pilate had sense to be afraid. These wicked Jews, goddamn it, they were just totally bugged out. No spiritual trait whatsoever. Why? Because they were fulfilling the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Verse 10, Then said Pilate unto him, Speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee, and have power to release thee? See, which proved my point. Pilate still had Pilate, okay, to stop this situation, to prevent Yahushua from being crucified. However, remember, according to Romans, I want to say is it the 13th chapter? Yeah, Romans 13:1, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High, showing you that the Most High rules within the kingdom of men. Okay, that was just the point of that. Verse 11, Yahushua answered, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore, he that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin. Okay, referring to these wicked Jews. All right. So, in a nutshell, we're coming into the initial or entry stages of persecution. And when you go into that term persecute, it means to pursue. And how is Esau pursuing us? Through his media, through propaganda, because at the end of the day, he is trying to, at the end of the day, he's trying to get us off the highways and the byways and lock us up and actually murder us. Why? Because basically we're basically preventing him from pushing this new world order. Okay, but at the same time frame, we have to remain spiritual. Okay, and we have to conduct ourselves in a fashion such as Yahushua. And we know at the end of the day that if our names are in the book of life, we will be rewarded. We will receive the kingdom of heaven as the first fruits. So stay spiritual, okay? And when you are interrogated and things of that nature, make sure your answers are precise and short, straight to the point. No long fucking rambling. Shalom.